Alrighty, friends, let's settle in. Let's get comfortable. Let's really ground through our seat. Maybe lay down a little straighter, a little more resolutely if you are lying down. And then when you're ready, just allow your eyes to close. And then just allow your spine to lengthen, whether that's lengthening as you sit or lengthening as you stretch out and lie down. So that as you begin to breathe, you really notice that flow of energy going up and down the center of your body. Just breathing in, letting it pass up to the top of your head almost. And then breathing out. Feel that relaxation all the way down to your tailbone. And then breathing in, sending it up through the spine to the top of the head. And breathing out, relaxing deep into your tailbone one more time. And then you just find a rhythm that feels good so that you feel that flow of energy. And let it be just an anchor for our practice today. And as you settle, as always, just check in with yourself. Just check in with your thoughts and your emotions. Check in with your physical body. And then just really honor that you've shown up. To the point that if the body needs to adjust, you will let it adjust. If the mind begins to wander, you will not get frustrated. You'll just come back here to this present moment. And so just honor that showing up by honoring all the things that we bring with us. The restlessness in our body, the busyness in our head. And just accept it all. Accept it all with loving kindness, with compassion. And then use that breath as this anchor back to the present moment. And you'll begin to feel this ebb and flow of your practice. And sometimes the ebbs get a little longer and the flows become a little less frequent. But just notice that ebb and flow the same way you notice your breath. And when you can do that, you will truly feel the gentleness of a meditation practice. This is not meant to be filled with dogma or rules or stipulations. It is truly meant to be gentle. So just give that to yourself. And so for the next several weeks, we are on a journey through the Yoga Sutras, using this ancient text that guides us in the path of yoga, in all these ways of being and living. And so we'll ground our meditation practice in some of these different lessons that the sutras give us. I love this word of sutra. It's where we in English brought the word sutra. And so the idea is that there's these 195 of these sutras, and what they do is they just weave together until you have this whole experience of your life. And as you have different things come up, you've got this thread that you can rely on, this lesson, this wisdom. And so we'll weave our way through these teachings across the next few weeks. And you'll find that some really speak to you in the moment because of whatever you're experiencing. And then you'll find that you'll come back to one when some new experience comes up. But all of these sutras are really grounded in this one that I come back to again and again and again. It's the second one of all of them. And in Sanskrit it says yoga, citta, vritta, nirodhah. Just 4 simple Sanskrit words. The first one is yoga. And so we have to realize that when it says yoga, it means all of it. It doesn't mean the thing that we do on that rubber mat. It doesn't mean anything to do with the physical practice. That's just a piece of it. It's talking about your breath. It's talking about your meditation practice. It's talking about how you move through the world and the footprint that you leave as you move. It's talking about how you treat yourself, how you accept without judgment. All of that is yoga. And so when it says that yoga, citta, vritta, nirodhah, it's saying that all those things together calm the disturbances, the agitations, the fluctuations in our mind. And when you start to put all these pieces together, what you learn is you have this just amazing toolbox of ways to calm your mind. And I know that there's someone listening that's thinking, yes, Kelly, but you don't know my mind. It doesn't ever turn off. And I would tell you that in this practice, we're not trying to turn the mind off. We are trying to be so aware of what's going on that it doesn't surprise us, doesn't grab our attention. We're just this witness to what's going on. We witness the thoughts come in. We witness the thoughts go out. We witness our attachment to them sometimes, our distractions with them. But we're just witnessing it. We're not trying to turn the mind off. But what we are trying to do, from what this sutra tells us, is ease the disturbances. We are meant to feel. We have these 5 senses on purpose. We're meant to see the world and take it all in. We're meant to hear the sounds that maybe you're hearing in your home right now around you. We're meant to take in all the smells, all the things that tell us something by this sense of smell. We're meant to taste things, experience the taste. And we're meant to feel the textures, to feel the touch of things. And so our senses are not bad. We are meant to just experience them. Take in this world through all 5 of them. But what happens often is those senses, they start to attach to memories. They start to attach to experiences we've had. They start to attach to opinions about things. And that's when these disturbances start to come into our mind. The senses really are bringing in these neutral things. It's this attachment that we create that's usually connected to something that we've had happen before. We smell something, it conjures up this memory that's either good or bad. And so we assign this category to whatever we're smelling in that moment. And that creates this agitation in our mind. It's a distraction. And so what we're made to do is we're made to experience these senses and then just let it go. But what's happened over time in this human experience is the letting go is the really hard part. We categorize and we label things, and so what happens is these disturbances, these agitations in our mind, they seem like they never stop. And so for those of you that were thinking, Kelly, you don't know my mind, that's really what you were describing. That when you try to focus and be present, the mind actually disturbs that attempt. It's taking you somewhere that you didn't intend to go. You feel something, you see something, you smell it, you hear it, and then your focus is led away. But I am so just in awe of this Yoga Sutra that reminds me again and again, yoga, citta, vritta, nirodhah. Yoga calms those disturbances in my mind. Yoga lessens the agitations in my thoughts. Yoga stills the waves in my head. And it never says that those waves are going to stop. It never says that those things will end if you just meditate long enough. But what it's saying is that these practices, these resources we each have in our toolboxes, when those disturbances come, we pull out a tool. We see something in the world that connects to a memory that's not a good one. And we either keep going down that path, just kind of spiraling into whatever that memory was, or we access the toolbox. We close our eyes, we take a slow, deep breath in and a slow, deep breath out. We do that a few times until we open our eyes and things are clear again. Or all of a sudden we encounter something in our day or in our world, we hear something, and it causes a disturbance, a fluctuation. It causes something in our spirit to feel not at ease. And so we have two choices. We spiral down again. We let our spirit just get filled with turmoil, with heartache, or we remember that toolbox. We remember that assurance that says, if I will access those tools, it will calm that disturbance. And so maybe at that point, you've heard something that just really is bothering you. And so you walk away from that spot wherever it was, and you go outside and you look at the big blue sky, and you just pause until whatever you heard begins to get quieter and quieter and quieter. Sometimes there is physical practice, and we do show up on a mat, or we do lay on our back and just rest for a moment. But the idea is, this toolbox is deep. And what I have found in this lived experiences is that there's a tool for all of it. There's a kind of breath for everything that I need to calm. There's a movement in my physical body for every agitation that I encounter. There is this beauty and stillness in nature that can lessen any fluctuation that I'm experiencing. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to still have heartache, and that we're not going to suffer, and that we're not going to have challenges and disappointments. It just means that we have tools to navigate them. Instead of allowing ourselves to spiral into these situations, becoming this version of ourselves that often we don't even recognize anymore. But this toolbox allows us to come right back to the here and the now. This is who we are. We are present. We are breathing. And so what I'd like us to do is just sit with that and notice. Oftentimes we want to push those disturbances, those fluctuations away because they're uncomfortable. But I'd like us to practice with them. Practice witnessing. And so as I grow quiet, just for this next little bit, this next moment or so, I want you just to watch your mind. Watch how those senses try to take you somewhere, or watch how you're able to maintain this present moment awareness. Or watch how the senses take you and then you're able to come right back. So I don't know what you're going to see as you witness this next moment, but all of it is right. Nothing is bad, nothing is negative. It is all just as it should be. Let's just witness and get a sense of what are those fluctuations in our head that tend to come? What are those lists that we keep making, or those habits that we keep falling into? Just notice. Don't assign judgment. Just witness. And as you continue to notice and witness, if it feels comfortable for you, just bring one hand and place it right across your heart center. Because even though the sutra says, yoga citta, vritta, nirodhah, yoga calms the fluctuations of our mind, what the essence of it is really doing is it is calming our spirit. Because as the thinking mind is disturbed, it creates this disturbance in our spirit. And so with that hand resting on your heart, I want us just to practice this one tool that we take everywhere we go. We don't always have access to nature. We don't always have access to a yoga mat. We don't always have access to a meditation cushion or all the things, whatever those things are. But notice what your hand is doing right here. Notice how it's gently moving with that gentle breath. This is the tool that goes with us everywhere we go. And so breathing in, yoga calms the fluctuations of my spirit. Breathing out, so I can return to the here and the now. Breathing in, yoga calms the disturbances in my spirit. Breathing out, so I can return to the here and the now. Just one more time, breathing in, yoga eases the waves of my spirit. And breathing out, I return to the here and the now. And you can just let that hand come back to rest. And maybe you feel a shift right there at heart center. Yes, the mind is still busy. Yes, the senses are still firing. But you have the capacity within you to calm the effect of all of that. So as we go through our days, our moments, don't forget that you've got these tools. Don't wait till you get on your yoga mat. Don't wait till you get to step out into nature and look up at the blue sky. Return to this breath again and again and begin to see the shift. There are neurological shifts. Your immune system will shift. Your clarity of thought will shift. And you may not even notice that those are happening. That's all the extra benefits. The most important thing that you will notice is that your spirit will begin to feel a little calmer. Yoga citta, vritta, nirodhah. Namaste.